Hello friends, welcome to Risingpearl.com. Let's take a look at how do we solve the 10th question for CBSE 2016 Class 10 Math exam. So the 10th question goes like this. In the figure below, so we have been given a figure. So it looks like there is a circle and P is some point and we have two lines going like this. Let's take a look at the question. So in the figure below, from an external point P, which is here, two tangents, obviously these two are tangents, so PT is a tangent and PS is the tangent. So two tangents PT and PS are drawn to a circle with center O. So we have an external point, we have a circle, PT and PS are tangent, the center of this circle is O. And R is the radius, so this is the radius, so this is R. OT, OS, they are radius, they are R. If OP equals 2R, so what is given is this OP. Now what is O? O is the center of the circle and P is any external point. P is any external point, and what is given is that PT and PS are the two tangents drawn. Also what is given is OP equals 2R. So OP, this entire length is 2R. So we have to show that these two angles, that is OTS, which is this angle, and OST, this angle, these two angles are equal and that they are equal to 30 degrees. So how are we going to go about solving this question? So one thing that I want to quickly tell you is that if you just consider the triangle OTS or OST, now clearly this side is equal to this side because they are radius, so we know these two angles will be equal. So the question is, how can we say that the measure of these two angles is 30 degrees? So this is how we are going to answer this question. So in triangle PTO, so if you look at triangle PTO, that is if you look at one of the triangles, right, PTO, angle PTO is 90 degrees. This entire angle is 90 degrees. Now why is this angle 90 degrees? This full angle, that is angle PTO, it is 90 degrees because OT is the radius and PT is the tangent. So we know that radius is perpendicular to the tangent. So we know that this triangle PTO is a right angle triangle because we have one angle which is 90 degrees, right? Alright, so next we know that applying Pythagoras theorem. So if we apply Pythagoras theorem, what we know is that OT is equal to R and OP is 2R. That is also given to us, right? So if we apply Pythagoras theorem, because this is 90 degrees, so this is the hypotenuse. So OP square or PO square will be equal to OT square plus PT square, right? So if we simply replace the two sides that we know OP is 2R and OT is R. So this is the only side which we don't know, that is PT. So simply by replacing them, we find out PT square equals 3R square, or if we do square root, so we will get PT, this side, is equal to square root 3. So we can write this as square root 3. This is the length of the side PT. So why is this important? So we will see that in just a moment. Now, if we look at triangle PTO again, now we know that this is 90 degrees, which we have just seen, right? Now let's say angle POT, this angle. Let us say this angle is theta. So now we know that this is actually a right triangle, right? PTO is a right triangle, and if this is theta, we know this length is twice R. This length is R, and we just found out this is square root 3 times R. If this angle is theta, right, now we can say tan theta. What will be tan theta? Tangent theta. It will be the measure of PT divided by OT, right? Because tangent ratio, tan theta, is altitude by base. So altitude by base. So which will be root 3 times R divided by R, or root 3. So if tan theta is root 3, then what does it tell us about theta? Well, clearly then theta is 60 degrees. And so theta is 60 degrees, that means this angle is 60 degrees. angle POT is 60 degrees. So if POT is 60 degrees, similarly, we can prove that this angle also is 60 degrees. So because this is, so now what we have is, we have these two angles, theta plus theta, if they are 60 plus 60, 120 degree, then simply if we take a look at, let's do it here. So angle TOS, this big angle, is equal to POT plus POS. And if each one is 60, then it will be 60 plus 60, 120 degrees. So if this angle is 120 degrees, then as you can imagine, now if we take a look at the smaller triangle TOS, we know that this side is equal to this side because they are both radius, right? So these two angles will be equal. So this angle should be equal to this angle. So it's an isosceles triangle. And we have just learned that this angle is 120 degrees. So if we assume that each of this, the measure of each of these angles is x, then what we have is, we know that sum total of all three angles is 180 degrees. So we have 120, which is this big angle. And if this is x, so we have 120 plus x equals 180 degrees, because sum of all three angles in any triangle is always 180 degrees. So from here 2x equals 180 minus 120, 60, or x equals 60 by 2, 30 degrees. So hence the measure of each of these angles is 30 degrees. So this is how we solve question number 10.